Hello everyone, it's Sunday the 10th October, the time is 9:33 a.m. and the temperature is 30 degrees. We are in Toa Payoh and this is Lorong 6. I thought we'd start by walking through the park, just a little bit on the side of the Lorong 6, and then we'll make our way around to Lorong 1 and see if we maybe got through the center of town from there on one of the other lorongs. Lorong, of course, meaning alleyway in Malay. In this area, because it's a little bit older or it was established earlier, the street names are Malay street names, so you'll see Jalan and Lorong for street and alleyway respectively. Just have a quick look at the water here. It's a very nice little park area, just off the residential area. And the Toa Payoh center of town is kind of surrounded by this circle of Lorong 6 and Lorong 1. And this little park is on the side here, on the sort of southern edge of the Lorong 6. There's some information on dragonflies and damselflies, which probably would love this kind of environment. Looks exactly like their thing. You can go and wander through that area, these little paths. So this park is called Toa Payoh Town Park, if I didn't mention that already. But we'll go back to Lorong 6 and towards the town center. Today is Sunday, so quite often on a Sunday you'll see people enjoying parks and spending time. That's the one day off in the working week for many people in Singapore. Although many also have 2-day weekends, and of course there are all kinds of shift work and what have you, as in any other place in the world. But Sundays seem to be very popular for this kind of spending time in the parks. I think that was quite a lovely way to start a Sunday morning walk. This appears to be some kind of bus interchange here. I hope there will be a place to cross the street ahead. Toa Payoh as a name apparently means big swamp, which is a little ironic because it is actually one of the earliest areas to be developed into residential area in Singapore. I think right after Queenstown. It's sort of starting from the 1960s onwards. The park continues on that side. You can already see some fairly big HDB buildings around this area. I think I do want to be on the sort of inner circle side of these Lorongs. So let's cross all the way here, even though it will most likely take us through some waiting for light cycles to change. So if you read about this part of town, then you'll probably find out that it also has kind of a more sinister past. From the time when Singapore had some gangs even. And there were some murders in this area. But of course that's all in the past now. And Toa Payoh is a lot more calm residential area. I think I see the light changing now, so we'll at least make it for the first leg of this crossing. Yes, there we go, and on to the next one. I'll see which one comes first, and maybe we can either cross to that side later on or then here, depending on what changes first. So this one will be first, then we'll do both of them because we can get them in one go rather than wait to cross the other one and then cross later on. We'll get it all out of the way now and then we'll be on our way. Pretty big roads here, or this is a Lorong as well, which is a little bit misleading if you think about it, but who am I to say? So this is Lorong 2, and here Lorong 6 turns to Lorong 1 Toa Payoh, and you do have to use the sort of extensions with the Lorongs because of course Geylang as well, for example, has Lorongs, so unless you specify which part of town you're in, the Lorong by itself doesn't necessarily tell people where to go or what it is. It's a really nice morning for a walk. It's kind of a bit overcast, but it doesn't seem like it's going to rain, and a nice 30 degrees without the sun, and maybe even a little bit of a breeze at one point or another. So it's surrounded by these HDB blocks. This one I'm showing you now on my right is actually a little bit of a round building, which is an interesting design. And there's a very big church on the other side, just after the HDB building. And then they have a primary school continuing on from that, so it's a really big complex there. It's one of those areas where the buildings kind of really tower over you. Yesterday on Saturday we actually had the Prime Minister speak, and some changes to travel as well. So more vaccinated travel lanes for additional countries, including the US and the UK, some European countries, and I think Canada as well. So that's a really good development in the sense that some tourists will be able to return eventually, and also people will be able to travel for their studies and see their family. I read on the newspaper that after the announcements there were some queues at the Singapore Airlines office where you can get the tickets for the designated flights, with people getting tickets for children who are studying abroad or themselves to go see their family graduate, that sort of thing, for example. And I'm sure some people are just looking forward to traveling as well. For those vaccinated travel lanes, the requirement for not vaccinations, but the tests you need to take was also reduced to I think 2 now, which just makes it a little bit easier on people, while still making sure that the situation is manageable. So let's hope for the best and for that to keep growing to include other countries. Otherwise, I think it was more sort of a just calming people down kind of a speech that we're working with things and we'll get there. So what we can mostly see around here is residential buildings, HDB estates, and some condos as well. So that just gives you kind of an idea of how big this area really is. Just adjusting something. Bear with me for a tiny bit. So we're now sort of 1/4 of the way along the circle that consists of Lorong 6 and Lorong 1, Toa Payoh. And I think what we'll do once we get to sort of the halfway is just walk through the circle and sort of see the town center there. There's still some land over there. Hasn't been developed next to those company-owned buildings. And just like the other residential areas, most streets here are just numbered and carry the name of the residential town. So you have to be a little bit on the map in terms of where you're going. starting to see a little bit more people as it gets to 10 a.m. So I'll walk for a few more blocks this way and then make my way sort of through the circle that the roads make around this area. Some new HDB buildings being built, I'd imagine. Looks like the same advertisement they tend to have. And this block has a market and a hawker center. Which is probably why you see all the traffic around here and people on their way to do their shopping on a Sunday and maybe get some breakfast or early lunch, depending on how your day goes. There's an older house at the back there after the construction site. And I guess that whole area actually is a little bit older buildings. Because of its earlier reputation and events in this area, this part of town has been called Singapore's Chicago. doesn't give quite that impression today, luckily. I mean, nothing wrong with Chicago in general, but for why this place got its name or nickname. So very different vibes today. Very nice residential area. We're at the Braddell MRT station now. I think we'll take Lorong 2 to the right once we get to it, and just have a walk around that more central area as well. There's Braddell on the red line. And we're leaving Lorong 1, Toa Payoh for Lorong 2. I think if the lights allow, we might go and have a look at Lorong 3 as well. It's just sort of make our way across a few of the streets. Just imagine how many people live here in all these buildings. It's not a small area. I think there is a pedestrian light to cross to Lorong 3. So let's do that to get to see. We can already see a fair bit into the distance, and it's mostly these buildings on Lorong 2. Oh, lucky. So that's where we have come from Lorong 1 and then Lorong 2. And this now is Lorong 3, Toa Payoh. And I think around here I do need to switch to another camera on my iPhone. Guess I've been given around 4 minutes on the DJI Pocket that I'm using for this. And I think I do want to record for a little bit further. So I'll make that change and get back to you once that is done. Probably there around the bus stop. This very colorful school building on the other side. And as the sun is getting through the clouds now, it's getting kind of warm. It's been very humid as well lately. So as I get to the bus stop, I'll make this quick change and it won't really affect you in much of any way at all. But just you'll see a little bit of a transition in a moment. There are some of the buildings on Lorong 3. And I'm going to make a stop here and you'll see me in no time. So welcome back. We're still on Lorong 3, exactly where I left you before that change, and now we can keep walking for a little bit. So I think I'll turn right to Lorong 4 and then we'll keep walking down Lorong 4 for the rest of the way. Now finish sort of very close to where we started this walk. It's a pretty cool dragon there. It's a little bit scary. And the town square there as well, or some kind of a square. I think we won't get probably zebra crossing here, just the one over there. Which is fine as well. It's not very busy. So we're now going to Lorong 4. Some nice palm tree covered or surrounded common areas for the HDB estates around here. And the sun is starting to shine a little bit. There's a church on the other side. and coming to an area with a bit more businesses around. I think let's make our way around here to see some of the businesses. So there's a food center here and other little shops. And it is fairly busy, but you wouldn't know from the street. There's the market as well. So I think that's quite nice to see that the life is sort of inside these residential areas, like it is in a lot of other places as well. So this is just a look at Lorong 5 that way. And this is back to Lorong 4. But a nice little detour to make to show you sort of the heart of that residential area as well. There will be, of course, other places around here as well, with so many different HDB blocks and residential areas. At the back there are actually some colorful stairs going on the side of the buildings. You sometimes see this in the center of city, behind the shop houses. So this building is for the Singapore Chinese Physicians Association. and Singapore College of Traditional Chinese Medicine. Fairly impressive building. And I think as we come to another turn, we've been going for a bit now and seen a lot of Toa Payoh. So I think this would be a good place to end the walk. We're back on Lorong 6 now. So I hope you enjoyed this walk around Toa Payoh from the town park along Lorong 1 and then through a couple of the other streets or lorongs in this area. And if you would like to see more of the videos and you haven't subscribed yet, then please do. That will get you a notification when new videos are published, and you'll be able to see that and join me for another one. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the walk, and I hope I'll see you again soon.